Welcome. We are Enchanted AI Art. I'm Rebecca, and I'm here with Jen and Kira. And we are here today to explain how AI works to make art and to debunk any myths around the ethics of making art with AI. We teach AI art. We host a magical stock art membership that is filled with amazing magical AI art. Collectively, we have about 60 years of experience as artists and teachers between the three of us. My name is Rebecca Tolk. I'm a fine art photographer and fiber artist, and recently became an AI artist in the last 5 months. Jen Palmer, she has been playing in the world of AI art for 2 years, so she has so much experience and information to share with us. She is also our teacher for our AI art school. Myself and Jen, she'll be hosting the learning membership that we're putting together. And she is a both traditional and fine artist and teacher. And Kira has been an artist her entire life, as far as I know. And she's also a teacher and a coach, and she is my business partner. And she is amazing with online art businesses. So she is taking my idea of bringing AI art to the people, and she's really bringing it to the people. So I am lucky to have all of you ladies with me. And we just want to jump in. We just want to jump right in and make this a really short video to give you the facts, because there is a lot of gossip and fear-based thinking and commenting out there right now. And we are a big believer in knowing what's real, making our own choices, and being in integrity with ourselves and the art that we make. So we want to give you some information and then let you make your own choices. So I'm going to turn this over to Jen and ask Jen, tell us, like, what exactly is AI and how does it work? Because I know a lot of people are scared that they're copying other artists if they take our class, or, well, I think that's the big fear, copying. So yeah, tell us a bit.
There's that, and everybody is afraid of a robot takeover. So we definitely have, major concerns, and I understand that the majority of the population hasn't been exposed to these ideas. So artificial intelligence, or AI as it's being called everywhere, is also known as machine learning or deep learning. You may see the term ML for machine learning, and essentially it is neural networks of computers, which are just groups of computers, and those groups of computers act like a brain, and they learn things that we tell them, which is what I always tell people. I'm like, it's an incredibly reflective process. Really only give us what we've given them, the ones that we're working with, for art creation on those terms. They're not going to take over your art. They're not going to create something that isn't that's really dangerous, unless that's what we're putting into it. So I know that there are concerns about data. That's a big one. And I want to say that we have those concerns about data and data management everywhere in the world, and that's that's not specific to AI and the AI art community. And there are organizations for ethics that have been in place. There's been work being done in the AI field, and creatively for, I want to say, like, at least the past 10 years that I am knowledgeable about, that artists are using AI in their process. And so everything that, all of this fear that's been bubbling up that we're addressing, is really come out this past year because of all of the things that have hit the market and people not understanding those. I want to say that the machines learn from us, and that is a big, important piece of that. And when they learn, it's just like how we would learn, essentially. If I want to study art, and I'm going to go to a museum and look at artworks, if I'm going to go and to a fair and look at other artists' works, or I'm going to go online and look at other artists' works, how do we use those as artists? Because we don't learn in a void, we don't create in a void. Everything influences us. We may learn specific masters styles and actually learn how to copy them in, you know, in our own practice so that we can use those skills in different ways. And so that's kind of the same thing that these computers are doing. They're looking at all of this different artwork and it's in their knowledge base. They're not, when you use a text prompt, as this is, you know, the software that mostly everybody is becoming familiar with, is you put in a text prompt and it gives you an image. It is not copying the work of artists.
How
so that's
is
a big one.
How it will, first of all, so for those of you that don't know, a text prompt is literally typing in some words, a string of words, a thought, a feeling, an affirmation. You know, these are the things we're going to be teaching in our school is, and then the AI generates images based on what it thinks those words mean. And it thinks those words mean things based on the data that we've told it to go look at. And the data are the images. So one of the programs we work with has been told to go look at, I don't know, 600 billion, million, bazillion images on the internet and learn. And it said, go learn. So when we type in Apple, it knows from all the keywords and all the data sets and all the technical stuff that, you know, is attached to images on the internet. Like, it's like, oh, these are all apples. So I'm going to show Jen an apple because she typed in apple. And I'm going to say an apple weeping, you know, because we want to get really magical and esoteric and creative. It's going to take all its information about the word weeping that's attached visually to all these images, and it's going to blend what it knows about weeping and apple and produce images for us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I mean, that's kind of like, that's the foundation of how it works. It's not going to copy all the artists who painted apples, but it's going to take that information from them, and it's going to give us some different stylized apples weeping, you know. What I'm really curious about, Jen, is what happens when, you know, I type in like melting surrealist clock. You know, I'm gonna get it's gonna be learning from DALL-E, right? Like how can I make art and not feel like I'm copying DALL-E? Like, let's just use that as an example, because I know there's lots of living artists who are concerned about it, and people who are concerned about copying them.
Absolutely. And there have been some really weird anomalies. And I mean, we work in this field and it's all very new. And I do want people to understand that it's all very new and it's happening right now. Like, most of the programs that we're working in are actually being beta tested. Like, they're not even it's not a final product. We go through new revisions. There are constantly new pushes to fix things. It's not a fixed product that this is what it is and what it's going to be forever. So if you go in there and say you really like surrealist styles and you put in DALL-E's name, it's gonna give you things that look more like that. And I think as artists, it's our, you know, integrity that we're going to be using to say, I don't want to copy another artist's work. I mean, we may do that in the practice of learning a style to try to recreate it so that we can learn how it was done, like physically, but we're not going to just do that and then copy that artist's work for our career. We're going to take these skills and use them in other ways. And I think that's really important. So if you're inspired by multiple artists, you know, I would say to look at their styles, understand their styles, and use those styles. And, you know, some of the problems that have been created for working artists, there are a few that their names are so popular that now people have used them, and they've used them so excessively that these people have a little bit of, like, they're having trouble finding their own work online now because it's become so prolific. And I don't know if this is a good problem to have or a bad problem to have, or like, you know, how specifically, but it is creating, you know, some trouble in people's lives and the systems they have in place. And when things grow and change, this happens. It's happened with artists throughout art history, you know, since the beginning of art, really. You know, what's considered art and how things change. I know photography is a big one that we're all familiar with. So I think I answered your question, Rebecca.
Yeah, I mean, like I have had people ask me about the ethics of copying artists. So I'd like to still go into that a bit deeper. And using our DALL-E example, like you may explore DALL-E melted clock with your text prompt and then see what the program provides. And it can take you on a journey, like a visual journey that takes you so far away from that melted clock, you know, that you end up with something that is very much unique and your own. But you can also take, which I've done this, like I've taken subject matter, like, I don't know, an airplane. I don't know if he ever painted those, but, you know, an airplane, you know, surrealist DALL-E style or something, you know, it's like that's so far from anything that he ever did, you know, that's a way you can explore it. But people are still very scared about copying artists, taking work away from artists. I mean, as far as taking work away from artists, like we are artists. The three of us right here are artists, and we are living and we are self-employed, and we are, you know, we are making a life and a living off AI art with AI art, just as we've done with photography and painting and our other art forms. So, you know, and our traditional art forms, the three of us, we still do them.
Yes.
You know, so every artist is going to have a different experience. The three of us and many people into AI art are very forward-thinking people. We love new technology. We love to learn new tools and take them to their limits. So I don't believe traditional art's going away, and I'm not here to argue that. I mean, there are things that these programs cannot do and may never be able to do. And that's totally great. And we, the three of us, are creating very soulful, very magical, very beautiful artwork. You know, this is not soulless art. It is the user that creates something soulless or not soulless. I feel like I've digressed. So let's get back to a bit of the
I wanted to interject something about the copying versus learning, right? Because my experience of this is brand new. And when I saw you doing it, Rebecca, I mean, that was sort of one of the things that brought our friendship together, because I was like, what is she doing? Right. And so I have come from the world of scrapbooking and crafts a long time ago, you know, where you would actually physically take someone else's art and cut it out and paste it onto your canvas or your paper. And I think that one of the concerns with ethics right now is that that's what people might think the AI is doing, like cutting out the image of the apple and sticking it on the background of the basket or whatever. And the experience of working with the AI and understanding the machine learning part of this, that's really not what is happening. It's not collaging together images like you would in a Canva or a Photoshop. It's actually saying apples are red or green or spotted, and I'm going to make this red and green spotted thing that's round because I think apples are round. And I'm going to show you that and ask you if that's what you meant by apple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think to further explain the type of artificial intelligence that we're typically using are generative adversarial networks, and that type of AI. And so they're generating new work, and that new work is based on a concept that it has learned. And so people have questions about copyright, and this is like upheld by copyright law that you can't own, you know, an artistic style or concept. You can't own surrealism. You can't, you know, that's not specific to, you know, you can't own just the idea of art. So like, there are things that are happening too, and don't feel like they're not happening if you are concerned about copyright and ethics. Like there are committees, there is research being done and has been being done, you know, and it's not all brand new, even though it might be brand new to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And So I do want to say with that, like, because we wanted to try and keep this short. The three of us are very chatty and we're being intentional to stay focused. Our intention here is to educate you. And I feel like we've done a very good job to at least explain how the AI works. The ethics, I believe, are really up to the individual. You know, you can put in a famous living artist's name and their subject that they paint and or photograph, you know, whatever, and create stuff very, very similar to what they have out there. That is a choice you can make, you know, but I can go to, as a photographer, to the top of, you know, whatever mountain with 5 other photographers on a tour guide thing, and we can all take the exact same picture of that mountain. We're only 2 feet apart from each other. Like, the ethics come down to you, the individual user, and what you choose to do with it, and how much your own inner integrity and your own inner guidance system. So we are here to educate you. If you have any further questions, you can reach out to us. We will put our contact information and links to our school and our membership and our offers, and you're welcome to come join us. And do further research. Take this information that you've just learned from us today and go and do some research and ask questions and show up in the online spaces with factual information, you know, as opposed to the fear-based freak out gossip stuff that we've been hearing, you know, like let's stop that and let's learn and educate ourselves and make our own choices. There are some like the data thing Jen was saying, there are some data breaches that happens throughout all online technology. And like she said, we are in beta trials of all these programs that have become really popular right now. And some of them have deep, deep integrity, and those are the ones that we use and teach. And some may or may not. I honestly am not paying attention to those. So, you know, find your own way, do your own research, make your own choices, and reach out if you need anything. Jen and Kira, do you have anything else that you want to add to wrap up?
I think that part of the confusion is due to media illiteracy, as far as like being able to understand where the, you know, what is fact and what isn't. So if you see people sharing things that contradict what we have just shared, you know, and they're saying it's a fact, I want you to, you know, are those sources, are they from peer-reviewed journals, or are they from, you know, these hype pieces from online newspapers? You know, there's really a difference in where this information is coming from, and I want you to know that, and that we would not be telling you these things if they weren't coming from a research and science-based, you know, arena. So
Yeah,
I
and
want you to know that you can trust where we're coming from.
Yeah, and if you are, you know, you can research everything we've said, you know, like go learn it for yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, as an art teacher with a deep knowledge of art history, you know, and experience teaching in classrooms, and I just believe that technology progresses and new things come into the art world all the time. And it's been the same throughout all of history. And we're just in a new era. So this is the new way. And it actually makes art accessible to more people. And I really love that about it. Art making, expressing yourself creatively. It's a beautiful thing to be able to do it, even if you don't have money for oil paints or you never took traditional art classes. You can still express something beautiful this way.
Yes. Yes. And the beauty is really learning to use this tool to find your own inner expression. But that's really what we want to help you do. And we are hearing from the community how therapeutic the AI art is, how supportive, how people who've never been able to be visually creative are finally getting their images out of their head and onto paper and onto the screen, and how satisfying and rewarding it is, how people are creating all kinds of new art and expression. And I mean, it's really a beautiful new tool. And, you know, as with anything, it's learning about it, using it with integrity, and finding your place with it and the way that you want to use it. And that's what we're here to do, is support you in.
Yes. I loved what Kira said about it being a new era in art, and I am like Rebecca's energy about people and teaching this and bringing everyone together, and it's amazing to have that. And we're sort of, I think we're all here together to usher people into this. Is that kind of the feeling? Like, welcome, we're here. Come
Yes.
join us.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. Welcome to our communities. We are here, and anyone who this resonates with, just, reach out. There'll be some different buttons and links with this video wherever we put it, so you can always find us. And we're here to help and share the beauty of art. So we will see you later.